Kevin loh. Gue butuh tahu timeline Kevin di dalam Al-Fatihah itu gimana. Lu di depan situ aja.
Good afternoon everyone. Selamat siang semuanya. Yes, and welcome to At America. We are the U.S. Embassy's American Center. First and foremost, please allow me to introduce myself, everyone. My name is Genara Jusuf, or you can call me Ara, and I will be the MC for today's event. I would like to say thank you, everyone, for coming here to At America. It's a pleasure to have you all here, and I would like to especially thank and greet our friends from Universitas Pramita. Hello, everyone. Yes, thank you so much for coming. And for those of you new here, At America is the U.S. Embassy's American Center, in which our mission is to provide a space for people to learn about the United States through our events and also our programs. And our event for today, everyone, is the Forum Jazz Indonesia Jazz Summit 2025 Talks Day 1. And ladies and gentlemen, today we are already joined by our very wonderful speakers who also happen to be influential figures in the jazz music industry. And our speakers for today will be sharing their insights about everything that you need to know about jazz music and how jazz can connect people, build communities, and also promote cultural diplomacy. But before we start, everyone, we're going to listen to an opening remark that will be delivered by the spokesperson of the U.S. Embassy, Jakarta. Please welcome Pak Jamie Ravitz.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to what I would argue is the most excellent venue or space of an embassy in the world. So you're really lucky to be here today. At America is a special place. I think you'll learn a lot today. I hope a lot of you enjoy jazz. You know, this Jazz Summit 2025 program aims to build strong network among jazz enthusiasts, jazz supporters, associations, communities, musical institutions, cultural centers, embassies, government bodies, and academic entities. It seeks to create a platform for dialogue, partnership building among the FJI members, the jazz musicians, partner organizations, and of course the general public. As we gather here, you know, it's important that we celebrate jazz, American jazz in particular. It was an American art form first and a spread across the globe. You know, as an American art form, it set a high standard for musical innovation and cultural celebration and expression. We aim today to increase the visibility of Indonesian jazz too, through strategic partnerships, both locally and internationally. We're thrilled to embark on this journey together and look forward to the really exciting discussions, the amazing performances, and of course, the fruitful collaboration. This event is not just a gathering, it's a celebration of the spirit of jazz. And it draws from a rich heritage and its global impact. Finally, I'd like to thank each and every one of you for being here today. Your presence, your participation make this summit possible. Enjoy the performances, enjoy the discussions, and enjoy every element of this year's summit. And with that, I thank you for coming, and please enjoy yourselves. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much, Pak Jamie Ravitz. That was a very insightful opening remarks. Thank you so much, Pak Jamie, once again. And ladies and gentlemen, now we will soon begin our first talk show session. Therefore, I would like to invite upon the stage our moderator for today that will lead and also navigate our discussion. From Forum Jazz Indonesia, please welcome Chico Hindarto.
Hello everyone, halo semuanya, selamat siang. Terima kasih sudah hadir di acara ini. Kami dari Forum Jazz Indonesia. Ini adalah Forum Jazz Indonesia Jazz Summit yang kedua. Tahun lalu adalah yang pertama di mana kami bekerja sama dengan Amerika juga. Tahun lalu kita ada workshop di sini ya, ada workshop jazz. Dan kemudian kita juga sama dengan IFI, Kebudayaan Perancis. Tahun lalu kita 2 hari di Kebudayaan Perancis dengan dengan 3 tema acara, yaitu ada diskusi panel, ada showcase, dan juga ada workshop. Nah, kita hari ini akan mulai dengan workshop dulu, dengan panel dulu. FJI Jazz Summit adalah kerjasama antara FJI dengan Bank Sentral Asia, Amerika, Istituto Italiano di Cultura, Institut Francais Indonesia, Kedutaan Besar Switzerland, KLCBS Radio Station, dan DSS Sound System Suara. Hari ini kita ada 3 di panel ini, panel jazz dan ekosistem. Di sini kita akan meng-highlight mengenai pentingnya ekosistem di dalam pengembangan musik jazz. Ada 3 pembicara, saya perkenalkan secara singkat. Yang pertama adalah Daniel Israel dari Amerika. Dia adalah dari Jazz at Lincoln Center. Daniel Israel graduated from the University of Rochester with a Bachelor of Arts in Music degree. His current role as the Assistant Director, Touring Jazz at Lincoln Center. Jazz at Lincoln Center's mission is to entertain, enrich, and expand a global community for jazz through performance, education, and advocacy. Pembicara kedua adalah dari Surabaya. Hi Dan. Can you hear us, Dan?
Hello.
Hi, hello.
I can. How are you?
Yeah, how are you? So it's 2 o'clock there, 3 o'clock in New York.
3:07.
Yeah, okay. Okay, thank you for joining us. Okay, the second speaker is Mr. Boy. Mr. Boy is a professional musician who studied music, especially saxophone. He performed with the legendary late Booby Chen, Mariono and his boys, and Surabaya All Star. Mr. Boy also founder of jazz community called Surabaya Pahlawan Jazz. He is also involved in the Tanjung Perak Jazz Festival and other jazz performances in Surabaya. The third one, I will invite. No, Hai, Mas Boy. Mas Boy, kedengaran?
Halo,
Halo.
ya.
Nah, terima
Halo Mas
kasih.
Ciko.
Ya.
Ya, selamat siang.
Okay, and then next, I will invite Mr. Shoichiro Shinoda to the stage. Give it a big hand. Silakan. Shoichiro Shinoda has lived in Indonesia for 34 years. Although he works for a company as a finance director, Shoichiro Shinoda channels his interest in jazz music by joining the Galaxy Big Band Jazz Orchestra in 2001. In January 2024, he became the 90th bandmaster of Galaxy Big Band Jazz Orchestra. So tepuk tangan buat Shoichi. Okay, so for Daniel, we will conduct in English, but for Pak Boy and Mr. Shinoda, we will speak in Bahasa. Okay, so the first thing is to the first question is for Daniel. Daniel, you are in the what they call as a jazz at Lincoln Center. So can you give us the background? What is jazz at Lincoln Center?
Yes. First of all, thank you so much for having me. And hello to everyone there. Jazz at Lincoln Center is a nonprofit organization in New York. As you said, and I'll repeat our mission because I think it's pretty important. The mission of Jazz at Lincoln Center is to entertain, enrich, and expand a global community for jazz through performance, education, and advocacy. So in New York, we are a presenting organization. We have a space at Columbus Circle in Manhattan, and we have 3 performance halls in our space. We have a 1,200-seat hall called Rose Hall. We have a 500-seat room called the Appel Room, and we have a jazz club called Dizzy's. So those are our 3 main spaces at our home in New York at Jazz at Lincoln Center. In those spaces, we invite musicians from all over the world to perform. Our club is open every night of the year except for 1 week in July so that they can do some annual renovations. And we're constantly having musicians in our doors performing for the community. We do tons of education, and we also use our home for our education events. We have middle school jazz band academy, high school jazz band academy. We run workshops for teachers. We have a Weebop program, which is a program beginning for 9-month-olds through 5 or 6-year-old. We have summer camps. We have all sorts of things. So in addition to being a performance venue or performance venues, we educate. And our final pillar, advocacy, we are trying to advocate for the art form as much as possible. My main role with the organization revolves around touring. We have our own big band. The name of it is called the Jazz at Lincoln Center Orchestra with Wynton Marsalis. Wynton is our founding member. He is the founder of Jazz at Lincoln Center. He's an incredible trumpeter, as I hope most of you know, and if you don't, you should listen to his music. And Wynton is the leader of our big band. So we do a number of concerts in New York, 10 weekends worth a season in New York. And then on tour, we tour between 60 and 75 dates a year all over the world. So everything that we do at Jazz at Lincoln Center we try to bring on tour as well. So we are delivering what we believe in to communities through concerts, education, wherever we can go. And we've gone some pretty incredible places in the band's history.
Okay, so this Jazz Atlantic Center, you are specific in the touring, right? So you're the one that arrange with other countries' venues and or other countries' institutions. So how does it work?
Yeah, my main role is to help figure out where, first of all, geographically, where in the world do we want to tour?
Okay.
So we sort of sit down and brainstorm as a team. We often talk to Winton to see if there's a certain place that he wants to go to, and with our suggestions. And then, yes, I'm calling different presenters that run performing arts centers and seeing if they want to present us and book our band on tour. We've gone all over the world performing, so we'll work with cultural centers, just commercial venues, festivals. We partner with embassies and consulates and cultural attachés, anyone who believes in what we do and wants to help share and spread our music. That's our goal, to deliver that.
Okay, for the touring, so usually how long it takes? I mean, that like 2 weeks or a month, or in one tour, how many days?
Yeah. So this just the last few weeks in June, we wrapped up a short tour for us, about 2 weeks of tours, 2 weeks of dates rather. But I'd say a typical length of tour is about a month or so.
Okay.
In March, we had a month-long European tour. We were gone for about 4.5 weeks.
Okay.
The longest one we've done in my tenure, and I've been with the organization for 11 years now, was a 6.5 week tour, and that was pretty long.
Also, which country did you visit at the time? Mostly it's European or other, also in Asian or even like African or in Australia?
Since I've been there, we've done 3 different Australian tours. We go to Europe almost every other year, every 2 or every 3 years. We're actually announcing this next week a pretty significant tour to Africa, which will be our first ever proper tour to Africa. We were once at the Joy of Jazz Festival in 2019, performing in Johannesburg. But yeah, we've been to China 3 times in the last 11 years. We're headed to, I'm trying to think what's been announced, what I'm even allowed to say so far. We're headed to Japan in March. And of course, all throughout the U.S. and Canada. In 2015, we did a 35-day tour of Central and South America. So we try to cover as much ground as possible.
Any plan to Indonesia?
Hopefully.
Yeah. So you can go to Indonesia, Singapore, Malaysia, maybe someday.
We'd love to.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So this is a question. Maybe it's a little bit sensitive, but I think it's good to share also. Who is the where you get the funds for this non-profit organization? So you have like the corporates, you have the government, or who provide the funds for the organization?
Yeah, it's really a mix. Our touring operation is pretty self-sustaining.
Oh, okay.
So when we perform on tour, we get paid.
Okay.
We get a fee. The presenters, people have to buy tickets to see our shows usually.
Okay.
So there's a significant exchange of money for us to go on tour, and we're a 15-piece band.
Mm-hmm.
We have a big touring party. There's about, in total, like between 23 and 25 people that travel, not just the band members. So we have a lot of expenses. So we get paid to cover our expenses.
Okay, so it's like from the promoters and event organizers or festival organizers. Okay, so mostly the musicians are young people, is it, or it's like a mix?
It's very mixed, and up until very recently, the musicians have been in our band for 20, 25, 30 years. There's been a little turnover the last year or two, musicians retiring. It's a pretty grueling schedule. If you can imagine being away from your home and your families for a long time. That's many months out of a year. You're living out of a suitcase, going all over. So anyway, the touring aspect of it is sort of a self-contained unit, and the fees that we bring in for tour that helps pay our musicians. Our musicians are full-time employees. There are not many full-time salaried jazz musicians in the U.S. at least. For our concerts that we present in New York, and that's our two larger venues in our jazz club, revenue is mostly brought in from ticket sales.
Okay, then thank you so much. Yeah, so I will, once again, we appreciate your time, so 3 o'clock there, but you are very enthusiastic to share about your organization with us. So give a big applause to Dan. Thank you. So now I move in my language, yeah? Sorry about that. For next panelist. Selanjutnya Pak Boy. Halo Pak Boy.
Ya.
Ya.
Ya, halo, selamat siang.
Ya, selamat siang Pak Boy. Di mana sekarang Pak? Di Surabaya?
Ya.
Lokasi di mana Pak?
Dingin,
Pak?
Mas. Kenapa Mas?
Lagi di My America Surabaya Pak?
Iya, ini keren banget ini corner ini.
Oke, di Market Corner Pak ya. Oke, Pak Boy, kita mau tanya mengenai sejarah sedikit lah Pak mengenai Surabaya Pahlawan Jazz. Itu gimana ceritanya Pak?
Ya, jadi sejak tahun 1960-an di Surabaya ini salah satu tonggak musisi jazz yang bertaraf internasional dunia yaitu Bubi Jen. Nah, pada saat itu hampir dikatakan belum ada respon yang bagus dari masyarakat Surabaya karena seperti kita ketahui terus terang aja Surabaya dan Jawa Timur lebih banyak suka ke rock dan dangdut.
Yeah.
Nah, jadi jazz belum begitu disuka. Termasuk pada waktu itu ada Suara Surabaya yang gencar.
Suara Surabaya itu radio Pak ya?
Radio, ya. Radio
Suara
Surabaya yang menampilkan lagu-lagu jazz. Saya masih ingat radio itu tanpa iklan.
Ya.
Jadi artinya memang berjuang ke arah jazz. Nah, dapat saya informasikan pada saat Bubi Jen berkontribusi di Surabaya, itu antara lain ada Jack Lesmana pada gitar, kemudian Ule Patislano, Peri Patislano, Jeffrey Tahalile, Mariono, Embong Rarjo, itu orang-orang jazz yang mempunyai andil besar di Surabaya, termasuk Radio Suara Surabaya, dan saya masih ingat dua konsul yang berkontribusi kuat di arah jazz, yaitu konsul Amerika dan Perancis pada waktu itu, Pak.
Yeah.
Nah, perlahan tapi pasti jazz ini bergerak terus sampai kira-kira pada Februari 2012 sang maestro ini wafat, Pak.
Yeah.
Dia meninggal sehingga kami ini banyak sekali murid-murid dan penggemar-penggemarnya tergerak untuk membuat sesuatu jazz. Kemudian dibentuklah sebuah grup band yang bernama Surabaya All Star, di mana pada waktu itu hampir semua adalah muridnya Bubi Jen yang pernah belajar pada beliau. Kemudian di samping Surabaya All Star, ada beberapa komunitas di Surabaya yang berjuang sendiri-sendiri. Misalnya Jazz Centrum ini banyak ke arah sekolah musik. Kemudian ada korek jazz dengan kursusnya. Kemudian ada fusion jazz community, dia arahnya ke fusion jazz ya. Kemudian ada lagi C26. C26 ini ada catatan tersendiri bagi kami karena dia bergerak di kampung-kampung, Pak. Dia bergeraknya di anak-anak remaja. Bahkan untuk jam session aja, dia mainnya di terasnya rumah pada waktu itu. Makanya namanya C26. Jadi kalau C26 itu singkatan dari sebuah daerah di Surabaya, Medokan Ayu. Jadi Medokan Ayu, Blok C nomor 26. Makanya dia namanya C26. Nah, itulah sejarah dari mulainya bergeraknya jazz. Kemudian saya bersama seorang penggiat jazz yang kuat, yaitu Ibu Indah Kurnia, yaitu berkeinginan untuk membina atau paling tidak mengatakan merangkul dari komunitas-komunitas ini menjadi satu wadah yang kita beri nama Surabaya Pahlawan Jazz. Nah, kami berpikiran bahwa mereka-mereka ini sudah betul, mereka sekolah jazz, mereka kursus, guru-gurunya juga hebat-hebat, gurunya bahkan ada yang dari Amerika dan sebagainya, tapi dapat dikatakan wadah untuk konser atau performance itu sedikit sekali. Karena pada waktu itu di Surabaya memang jazz belum begitu kuat. Nah, kami memikirkan tempat sehingga secara perlahan sudah pasti bahwa sampai sekarang setiap minggu kami punya tempat. Every Tuesday di sebuah mall. Kemudian setiap hari Kamis kami juga ada tempat yang kita beri nama Thursday Jam Session. Kemudian yang paling besar adalah Tanjung Perak Jazz. Nah, Tanjung Perak Jazz ini kami mulai pada saat sebelum pandemi, yaitu tahun 2019 di sebuah mall. Kami itu yang kita namakan Tanjung Perak Jazz yang pertama. Nah, kemudian pada 2 tahun berikutnya setelah kita break karena tidak boleh ada pertunjukan, kita mengadakan jazz konser di Tanjung Perak yang kedua tanpa penonton.
Jadi
sehingga pada
online,
itu banyak musisi yang mengatakan, wah ini yang pertama ini konser yang berani.
Pak Boy,
menampilkan
saya
festival.
ke ini dulu. Saya tadi sudah sejarahnya sudah sampai mengenai pahlawan jazz. Ya, sekarang mungkin saya masuk ke Mr. Shinoda dulu, Pak. Ya, Pak Shinoda, bagaimana cerita mengenai Galaxy? Karena Galaxy juga menarik ya. Galaxy Big Band ini anggotanya banyak orang Jepang yang tinggal di Indonesia main Big Band. Ya, tapi juga orang Indonesianya ya. Silakan.
Ya, terima kasih. Galaxy berdirinya tahun 1992. Tapi awalnya orang Jepang mulai kumpul dari tahun 89. Ya. Jadi seperti apa ya, ekspatriat, keluarga sama teman-teman di Indonesia yang apa namanya kumpul. Terus mendirikan Galaxy Big Band Jazz Orchestra. Jadi band Galaxy itu pertama kali bulan Desember 1992 baru adakan konser. Jadi biasanya band itu berdiri tahun 1992 gitu kita bilangnya. Ya, terus waktu awal band berdiri, kita memang agak kesulitan untuk memang mencari partitur, terus tempat latihan di mana. Karena awal tahun 90-an, itu kan belum ada komputer, belum ada internet, maka waktu kita latihan, itu harus apa namanya bikin fotokopi. Ya. Terus sampai di tujuan atau kumpul di studio itu suka banjir, ya itu memang apa ya sangat sulit gitu ya. Ya tapi sekarang ya jalannya sudah bagus, ya sudah ada komputer, ya jadi untuk latihan kita biasanya kan pakai partitur ya. Saya juga kalau naik panggung biasanya pakai partitur gitu. Ini bukan nyontekan ya.
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 Oke, terima kasih. Kita langsung masuk ke sesi tanya jawab. Ada tanya jawab? Kalau ada pertanyaan mungkin? Ada pertanyaan? Silakan. Ya, kepada siapa ditanyanya? Tolong namanya siapa Pak ya?
Yeah, my name is Anga. I just have a
Okay.
question for Mr. Israel in
Yeah.
New York.
Yes.
Hi, I'm just a connoisseur, consumer of musical arts. I just want to know with the new kinds of music genres that's more appealing toward younger generations, especially in the U.S. Does jazz have some kind of new? Is it always going to be having a niche audience, or do you plan to tweak the formula to sort of say regarding jazz so that it would appeal to to more mass consumers of music? Thank you.
You got the question, Daniel?
I
Okay.
got it.
Yeah, so
I mean, for me, you might be asking the wrong guy because I love jazz. So to me, I feel like if more people listen to it, it would be appealing. My 8-year-old son, he's been listening to jazz since he was a baby, and he loves jazz. So I don't think it's necessarily like tweaking the art form. I think it's trying to expose lovers of music, listeners, to this art form so that they have an opportunity to hear good music. I don't think we have to change an art form. There's a lot of different music, and I don't know a lot of music. I love music, but jazz is one of the genres that I love the most.
So is there any you mentioned just now is about the new development of new genre in jazz? You mean? Not only music in general, right?
Yeah, some sort of fusion, new age jazz. I don't know what I'm talking about because I'm not a musical person. Sorry.
It's okay. Yeah. So is there any trend in jazz that also accommodate by Jazz at Lincoln Center?
If there's a new trend, I don't know it. We try to present music that swings, anything really that sort of fits our definition of jazz. But there's a ton of variety in jazz. So no, there's not like a new one that the Jazz Factory put out. I think it's an ever evolving art form. But if you listen to some John Coltrane from the 1950s, that still sounds extremely fresh and new, even though it's not. But no, I don't know exactly what if there's something new that a lot of people are listening to. I don't know it.
Okay, thank you. Semoga menjawab ya. Jadi Dan tadi bilang bahwa dia lebih kepada konservatori juga untuk jazz yang klasik gitu ya. Tapi juga untuk pelaksanaannya dia melibatkan orang-orang muda. Jadi orang-orang muda ini dikembalikan kepada Kembalikan kepada semacam sejarah dari si jazz tadi untuk kemudian mereka lebih mengeksplor lah. Mungkin yang berubah mungkin bukan genre-nya tapi mungkin bagaimana approach-nya ke musik tersebut. Makasih. Ada pertanyaan lagi? Oke, silakan sini ada pertanyaan, tolong. Sebutkan nama.
Selamat.
Ya, lanjut.
Cek. Oke, baik. Izin melaporkan diri, nama saya Dini Lianti. Saya dari Universitas Pramita Indonesia. Saya izin bertanya, maaf sebelumnya menggunakan bahasa Indonesia.
Oke.
Baik.
Kepada
Untuk
siapa nanyanya?
Dini.
Iya nggak, mau nanya kepada siapa?
Bapak Yoga.
Pak Boy.
Oh, Pak Boy,
Yeah.
maaf. Baik, untuk pertanyaan sendiri, saya izin bertanya, apa tantangan dalam mendistribusikan musik jazz di Indonesia di era digital ini?
Oke.
Baik, terima kasih.
Terima kasih. Mas Boy, ada tantangannya
Iya.
untuk mendistribusikan jazz dengan kondisi digital saat ini? Silakan.
Iya, sebetulnya nggak ada tantangan ya. Mau nggak mau digital ini harus kita terima dengan tangan terbuka, dengan full pikiran. Karena ini adalah teknik zaman sekarang. Namun jangan melupakan sejarah bahwa jazz ini adalah sesuatu yang unik menurut saya. Adalah musik yang sangat spontanitas, sangat bebas, dan bertanggung jawab. Jadi menurut pandangan kami selama ini setelah kami belajar terus, bahwa musik kalau terikat oleh introduction, interlude segala macam, belum dikategorikan jazz. Tapi kalau sudah bisa bebas, artinya berimprovisasi, ini baru bisa dikatakan jazz. Nah kalau tantangannya memang dari awal banyak kalangan yang menginginkan selalu sama dengan aslinya. Nah kami yang sudah banyak belajar dan bahkan sampai hari ini pun kami masih belajar ke beberapa guru, termasuk beberapa guru di Las Vegas, bahwa sebetulnya jazz ini harus berkembang, harus bebas, tetapi bertanggung jawab terhadap harmoninya. Jadi tantangannya cuma itu, mereka maunya sebagian besar ya, maunya persis dengan aslinya. Memang kalau lagu pop demikian, tapi kalau jazz harus bebas. Itu aja menurut saya.
Terima kasih Mas Boy. Ada yang mau dijawab juga mungkin pertanyaan tadi untuk Mr. Shinoda? Tantangan digital. Apakah ada tadi kan bicara soalnya dulu belum ada internet, sekarang sudah ada internet. Jadi sekarang apakah internet itu atau digital teknologi itu membantu atau justru menghalangi atau bagaimana kalau menurut Shinoda-san? Iya. Agak sulit, oke. Jadi tadi jawaban dari Pak Boy cukup? Ya, jadi makasih. Ada pertanyaan lagi? Oke, silakan. Oh, teman baik kita, Ruli.
Yeah, question for Daniel. I know it's the big band or the orchestra is it led by Wynton Marsalis, right? Okay, and I get an offer from one of my good friends to basically to bring Wynton to Jakarta, but it didn't happen because the guy passed away. I mean, my friends passed away, so it didn't happen. And just wondering, from the Lincoln, the orchestra, from the players, who's like the alumni who's move on to more like commercial type of setting in jazz, and also I just wondering like some names like started at your orchestra and then now is playing for someone else, or like maybe Michael Bublé or something like that. So I just wondering some of the alumni from your orchestra. And another question, how many days in a year you travel or the band play? So just trying to get some numbers. Thank you.
Got it. So I'll answer that last question first so the band works 30 weeks a year. Some of those are in New York doing concerts and education, and then the rest are on tour. So 30 weeks, I guess 210 days officially. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think the alumni from our band, they're very active in the music scene. I'm not sure if they're like commercial or pop successes, although you did mention Bublé, one of our drummers who played with us a couple years in 2017 and 18 or 18 and 19, I can't remember. He's a drummer for Bublé, so that's funny that you mentioned his name. But no, I mean, our musicians are doing a variety of things. Victor Goins, who for many, many years was sat in our tenor chair, he now runs Jazz St. Louis. So there's one of our trumpeters, he's running an organization. He's still a trumpeter, he's running an organization in Las Vegas. One of our trombonists, he's running an organization in Houston. So our musicians are constantly teaching all over. They are playing all over. I'm not sure if any of them have hit like huge commercial success, but they're doing what they love doing, and they're often teaching all over the world and playing and composing and arranging and educating.
Oke, menjawab. Oke, terima kasih. Thank you, Dan. So, ini juga adalah akhir dari sesi pertama dari FJI Jazz Summit, yaitu Jazz and Ecosystem. Saya coba simpulkan, tadi dari Mr. Shinoda mengatakan bahwa kecintaan akan musik lah yang menyatukan satu mereka, walaupun mereka adalah ekspatriat dari Jepang, walaupun banjir, ya, tetap latihan jazz. Kapan mau main lagi? Akan tampil kapan lagi?
Sabtu depan.
Sabtu depan akan tampil di mana?
Di Embassy Hotel,
Ya,
BSD.
Di BSD. Oke,
Ya.
jadi kalau dia mau nonton silakan aja. Oke, kemudian kesimpulan dari Pak Boy. Pak Boy menyatakan bahwa sejarah itu jadi penting. Jadi tadi rootsnya di Surabaya itu dari Om Bubi Chen gitu ya, almarhum Bubi Chen. Kemudian juga tokoh-tokoh yang lain, juga ada media Suara Surabaya. Ya, so Mr. Shinoda mentioned then it's about the Galaxy Big Band. It's an expatriate, Japanese expatriate did in Indonesia, but they perform a big band. It's like a professional amateur big band. So Mr. Boy mentioned about Surabaya, a big city in Indonesia. They have also the community that they gather all sub-communities into one. So previously, and then he mentioned also about the history of jazz in Surabaya. So he mentioned also that don't forget about the history. And then, I use Indonesia here, Dan cerita mengenai apa fungsi dari Jazz at Lincoln di Amerika, yang fungsinya adalah untuk mensosialisasikan jazz di anak muda dan melibatkan anak muda untuk tampil di pentas jazz dunia bersama Big Band Jazz at Lincoln. So that's all. Thank you so much, Dan. So have a nice sleep, Dan. Thank you so much. Terima kasih Pak Boy. Terima kasih. Untuk Sudasan. Saya kembalikan kepada MC.
Semuanya.
Terima kasih.
Oke, bertepuk tangan sekali lagi. Yes, that marks the first talk show session for today. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we will soon begin our second talk show session. And we will have a new moderator. Our moderator will lead and also navigate our second session of our talk show today. And from Forum Jazz Indonesia, please welcome our moderator, Bagas Indiatmono.
Okay. Good afternoon, everybody. How are you today? Good. I never wondered that the jazz seminar would be this crowded, so it's a good thing. So yeah, my name is Bagas Indiatmono. I'm the vice chairman of Forum Jazz Indonesia, and also I'm the CEO of Jazz Gunung Indonesia. We'll have festival coming next week, actually. So yeah, and our topic for my session is jazz and diplomacy. So it is quite a serious topic, but we're gonna make it a bit easy and fun for you guys. So I would like to invite our first speaker. It's Mr. Anup Mahajan. He's the Regional Public Engagement Specialist at the U.S. Embassy in Jakarta. He has graduated from Boston University for his Bachelor of Arts in Economics and Georgetown University for his Master of Science. Welcome.
Yes, very nice meeting.
So the next is Miss Ferani Heng. She's the Media, Culture, and Tourism Officer at the Embassy of Switzerland in Jakarta. Ferani Heng oversees strategic communications, media engagement, cultural diplomacy initiatives, and the promotion of Switzerland as a tourism destination in Indonesia. Welcome. And last but not least is Mr. Dwiki Dharmawan. I think he needs no introduction, but with a career spanning over 40 years and performances in over 80 countries, Dwiki Dharmawan remains one of the Indonesian most popular and respected industry stalwarts and cultural icons. So yeah, Mr. Dwiki Dharmawan, welcome. All right. So maybe I'll go to Mr. Anup Mahajan first. Jazz and diplomacy. Jazz has always been a tool, I think, for diplomacy. And especially like jazz is coming from the US and now it's everywhere, and especially in Indonesia. And me, myself, I just got back from France 2 days ago for a jazz introduction, Indonesian jazz introduction to the European market, maybe, yeah. So I would like to ask you one thing, that what's your perspective on jazz as a cultural heritage from America to the world, and how is it now as a diplomacy tools? Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great question. Thank you so much for the opportunity to be here. Is this on? Yeah, okay. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, and I should preface by saying I'm probably, I hope not to be the most boring speaker up here, because I am not a jazz musician, but I'm a different kind of musician. I play the violin, but that's for a different day. But yes, jazz as a tool for cultural diplomacy has a long history, a long storied tradition with the United States. I should say that the United States has always been very proud of its legacy in terms of jazz. I think, before its worldwide journey from the United States to the world, jazz has always been seen, I think, as a uniquely iconic American art form that now has transformed the rest of the world through the power of jazz and through all the different ways that jazz lends itself to collaboration, innovation, creating relationships. And that's sort of what the point is that I want to drive home today, at least from the American standpoint, is it's been such a powerful tool for those of us in public diplomacy and cultural diplomacy because of the very nature of jazz itself, right? Jazz itself is an art form that connects people through shared emotion and innovation. And one could say all music does that, right? But jazz, I think, is so unique in terms of being able to morph and to create new art forms through improvisation, through collaboration, in a way that other art forms are maybe more rigid, right? And so I think when you look at the long arc of US history and sort of the origins of jazz as a really effective tool in our toolbox for cultural diplomacy, it was kind of an easy thing, right? So for those of you who don't know, jazz diplomacy, as we call it in the US, in the State Department, has its roots in post-World War II, Cold War era settings in the geopolitical context of the time. And so the State Department at the time created what's called the jazz ambassadors, right? And so some of the greatest names in American jazz that we all know in this room, right? Like Dizzy Gillespie, Louis Armstrong, Ella Fitzgerald, others were named as jazz diplomats and sent around the world to proliferate the art form as it was. And from that art, from the 1950s and 60s to now, it is an amazing journey to see how jazz has evolved into so many different local and international art forms, right? There's Afro-Cuban jazz, there's South African jazz, there's jazz collectives all around the world. And so I think that's, I'll stop there because I could keep going on, but I think that's sort of what, sort of at the essence of jazz as cultural diplomacy.
Yeah, but is it still going on nowadays, like the jazz diplomats? I mean, like how big is the funding for that kind of sector now? Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great question. So music diplomacy is something that lives on in the State Department. Of course, it's taken on. It's an evolving journey, right? So it's not uniquely focused on jazz anymore. Jazz is an element of it now, but now we've incorporated hip hop and other art forms as well. And so all under the umbrella of the American Music Abroad AMA program. And so what that is congressional funding. All of the funding for a lot of our flagship exchange programs come from Congress. So there is congressionally mandated funding for collaborations. And so, for example, if you were a jazz musician through, who had the opportunity to receive an opportunity to go on an exchange program through the American Music Abroad program, or, for example, the Next Level program or Arts Envoy program that we have, these are all different kinds of ways that musicians of different art forms from around the world, including jazz, can collaborate with American artists and then create new forms of music. So that's sort of how it lives on today.
All right. Thanks very much. So I'll move to the other speakers first, and then I'll get back to you. So yeah, I want to ask Ms. Ferani, Heng, how about the jazz scene in Switzerland, if I can say, because you're having a currently in the Switzerland embassy. So how's thing goes in your side? Yeah.
Thank you very much. So first of all, for full transparency, I'm not a jazz expert.
Oh, I'm not alone.
I'm neither a musician, but I'm happy to tell you about jazz in Switzerland. I mean, at the moment, the summer season is going on in Switzerland, and summer season is actually the jazz festival season in Switzerland. So yes, exactly. So one of them being Montreux, the more well-known one, but also we also have soon Festival de Jazz in St. Moritz, and actually an Indonesian jazz trio will be playing there. They've been invited to play at the Festival de Jazz, so Kevin Joshua Trio. So we're very happy and we're very proud about it. But for Switzerland, yes, we do have our history for jazz actually stems from the World War II era as well. So as you may know, the Nazi Germany actually banned jazz music. So a lot of musicians from European countries such as German, Austria, and other parts of the European cities, they all fled to Switzerland, being a neutral country, to be able to continue playing jazz. But apart from that as well, we also have a huge influence on the jazz education in Europe. So we do have the Swiss Jazz School in Berlin, which is the first of its kind. It was established in 1967. It was the first school that actually taught jazz as a serious education curriculum. And the school still exists until now. So yeah, it plays a huge role in terms of impact on jazz musicians all around Europe. But I think last but not least, I have to mention, of course, because I'm from the embassy, our cultural policy strongly supports the jazz ecosystem in Switzerland. So we do have the Swiss Arts Council, Pro Helvetia, which provides funding for jazz musicians as well as jazz venues. That is how we've been able to keep up with the trend, to be able to nurture local talents, as well as to keep all the programming and keep jazz alive in Switzerland.
All right, thanks so much. I think you've answered my question quite perfectly. So I'll move to Mr. Dwiki Dharmawan. So I'll call him Mas Dwiki. Is that okay, Mas Dwiki? You've been promoting the jazz scene, maybe the jazz, or I'm not sure if there's a thing called the Indonesian jazz or not, but you've been promoting the more ethno something from the Indonesian side to the world for maybe like more than 20 or 30 years. So can you give us some experience to that?
Oke, terima kasih Mas Bagas. Hello everyone. Now it's sleepy time ya. Please raise hand. Teman-teman dari Universitas apa? Prima ya? Pramita. Raise hand please. University of Pramita. Wow, lots. Tepuk tangan buat Anda. Thank you. Yes, I really thankful to born and rise in Indonesia, the biggest archipelago in the world, with more than 700 languages and dialect, also with 17,000 islands. And you like to buy one? 5,000 still in heritage. Yeah, yeah. We are very rich, and so the richness of Indonesian culture inspiring me a lot. I love traveling and adventure. So after I visit maybe one island in Indonesia, maybe this province, back to Jakarta, my mind is full of music. So that's why I always collaborate. And of course, I learned jazz seriously before. I learned what is that, bebop, swing, and so on. But then I also learned Indonesian traditional music. I was the player of gamelan ensemble also before. That's why I always love to mix East and West. We call it East and West equally, but equally. And it happened first time in 1992 when my band Krakatau released the album called Mystical Mist. And premiere first time at the JAK Jazz, Jakarta International Jazz Festival. That before Java Jazz Festival, we have JAK Jazz in 1993. And Krakatau play together with Sundanese gamelan ensemble and mixed with modern instrument like my friend Prabudi Dharma play fretless bass and I play microtonal synthesizer. That's our first experience, and surprisingly, a lot of music promoter and music producer from internationally really like our form of music. And it began in 1994 that we have invitation from Australia region first, and then from Asia, and then from Europe. And in 2004, even we have tour in 10 states in the US, in 10 big university, and also giving some lecture in each university. And in 14, I was performing at the Montreux Jazz Festival in Switzerland. And also a lot of big festival, which is in the same period, we can play in North Sea Jazz Festival, Montreux Jazz Festival, and so on. Yeah, that's the, I think I'm lucky because learning Indonesian music. So when I play jazz, I mix that between jazz and Indonesian traditional music. Not only gamelan, but also maybe the percussion from Papua, the sasando from Rote Island in East Nusa Tenggara. Also, I make it with some ancient instrument from Central Sulawesi, which is came from the Megalithicum era. And from North Sumatra, also we have Taganing. So lots of collaboration, and Alhamdulillah, with that, we have been playing in over than 80 countries in all over the world. So my dreams when I was kid is to be a diplomat, because I like to read history, Kiai Haji Agus Salim, Mokhtar, Kusuma Atmadja, a lot of great Indonesian diplomat. I read the books, and I want to be diplomat. And also, then I studied law, international relationship at University of Pajajaran and then University of Indonesia. But I'm already professional in music since high school, first with Krakatau and then with my orchestra. So I become a diplomat through music. So this is the way, yeah, that I can promote my lovely country, Indonesia, with music, because music is the soft diplomacy. For example, when Borobudur was hit by bomb in 2002, then a lot of countries announce the travel ban to Indonesia. Not only one or two countries, and those countries is the country that send a lot of tourists to Indonesia. Tourism is one of our devisa, our industry that make money for the country. And tourist sector that time is really devastated, really slow and really slow. So that's why that time I got a call from the late Minister of Tourism of Republic of Indonesia, at that time Mr. Gede Ardika, the Balinese tourist minister, great person, and we have a coffee and we discuss, Mas Dwiki, what we can do with this situation. I said, Pak Menteri, let's do the music tour so we can show to the world that Indonesia is baik-baik saja. The bomb in Borobudur is only in one small area, not around Indonesia. And we will talk with music. Music is also talking, it's also the great way for diplomacy. So we collaborate, and myself with my band called Krakatau Ethno have a tour through 7 countries in Europe, including Switzerland, and 10 states in America and 4 states in Canada. And of course, collaborating with this festival, also collaborate with university, and not all the funding is come from our government. So it's collaboration. So this is one example that how diplomacy really help in a lot of situations. Thank you.
Thank you. Big round of applause for our speakers. Yeah, I'm going to ask. Oh, Mbak Ferani, you have a deck. Would you like to show?
No, it's fine.
Okay, all right
it's
then.
okay. All good, thank you.
So yeah, I'd like to ask every one of you, because just like Mas Dwiki just said, that the support from the government is not always only on our side, but also a collaboration between the countries that invited them. So right now, do you still do that to maybe Indonesian musicians to tour or perform in your country? Is it still available? I mean, this kind of, because there are so many questions asked by the musicians on how do we do it, I mean, to tour in the Europe, the US, something like that, yeah.
Yes, so the answer is yes. So for US programs, the two that I mentioned earlier are two that come to mind. Those are the two biggest programs. So the American Music Arts and also the Arts Envoy. And so those two programs are what we call flagship programs that always have evergreen funding. So it's funding every year that's appropriated to provide opportunities for artists like from Indonesia, for example, who can come either to the United States and have a 5-week experience or 5 to 7 week experience with learning best practices and kind of collaborating with the art scene in different parts of the US and having that really intensive collaboration and then coming back. And then there's the Arts Envoy program where we actually outbound, we send US musicians, American musicians to particular countries. So we could send an Arts Envoy to Indonesia, for example, and then through that collaboration in Indonesia with that American artist, they can collaborate, innovate, and do a variety of activities as well. So those are two that come to mind. So, and to answer your larger question about, just funding in general and those kinds of things, I mean, one of the things that I want to stress on from the beginning of what I said about the role of music and mostly jazz in American diplomacy is that the funding really from Congress is built into flagship legislation that we have that, so for example, in Congress, in the US Congress, this is built into legislation for people-to-people exchanges throughout the world. And so it was born in the 1950s again, and it was seen as the importance from Congress about the importance of arts and music diplomacy. So it's, yeah, so it's pretty, what should I say? It's pretty perpetual, yeah. So yeah.
Thank you. We'd love to have a collaboration, I mean, for the next years, because yeah, we are having this, in my festival in Jazz Gunung, the Jazz Gunung is Jazz in the Mountain. So starting last year, we are having a residency, a jazz camp in our festival. So I think it would be a good idea to have master classes from the US and something like that. So yeah, we're really happy to do that. And how about you?
Well, actually, just now you mentioned about my deck. Actually, I have a slide about this with a QR
can we
code.
Show it?
So can we please just quickly?
Ferani.
I think it's, yeah, you can move forward. I think it's almost towards the end. So again, next please, again please, next please. Yep, so it's this one. So I've mentioned earlier the Swiss Arts Council, Pro Helvetia. So actually you can scan the QR code on the screen and you can actually find support for non-Swiss artists. So Switzerland do provide funding in projects, residencies, as well as international tours for both Swiss and non-Swiss. So please keep an eye on the page and you can see all the available programs and eligibilities from time to time. So yes, we do have a lot of artists who benefits from this funding. We also flew a lot of jazz and non-jazz musicians from Switzerland to Indonesia for different performances, thanks to this funding as well. So yes, please keep an eye out, and hopefully maybe one of you aspiring artists would be able to benefit from this program. Thank you.
Thank you. So this is good news for musicians to have. And is it also available for professionals like promoters or labels or something like that?
Go to the website.
Okay, let me check then.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah,
You can
all
check
right.
on the website. Thank
All
you.
right. Thank you. Mas Dwiki, so you've been doing this actually, right, for maybe more than 20 years. And how do you usually do it? I mean, like, do you make a proposal or something? Or maybe is it like just you knew the guy in the government and then you ask for their support? Or what do you always do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. I have a principle. What you can offer to your country is not what the country can give to you. Yeah, that's a combination. Because jazz music is a niche music, and I think not 100% big industry like pop music or rock music. So to me, this is still a niche market. So we have to be careful to, in my experience, to mix in between. Yeah. For example, this next week I invite to play at Petra Theater in the second Hellenic Jazz Festival in Greece, in Athens, in Petra, and the organizer have limited funding. They have funding, but limited. So they said, we have this amount of money for you and your band. So that not enough. Then I was thinking, I call my fellow musician in Greece, and there is a lot of my friends, musician in Greece. One of them is Gilad Atzmon, which before is in London and moved to Athens. And Gilad, hey Gilad, I said, can you find like bass player, drum player, and traditional Greece player, and yourself to play with me? I will just bring a kendang player from Indonesia. So I try to make this funding enough for all. If I have to buy 7 tickets, Turkish Air to Greece, then it's finished and not enough. But if I use that funding for paying local musician there, and I only pay 2 tickets from here, so that's combination, that money is enough. The problem when I have for accommodation is not enough. So I call Mr. Ambassador, Excellency Bebeb Tunjunan, and is my senior in university, and Pak Bebeb, can I stay? Maybe anywhere, maybe can be in the residence of embassy. So he helped, and so I will go there and combine within this small funding, but we can still make it happen. And of course, we can make some, find another sponsorships, little. Jazz is not easy. It's quite difficult to get sponsored. It's different than pop music. That's why lots of jazz festival in Indonesia, 70% of performer is pop musician, except Jazz Gunung. That's in fact, yes, that's a reality, yeah? And we have to accept that because the sponsor, for example, if Bagas maybe as a promoter said, who will play oh yeah, Dwiki Dharmawan, Indra Lesmana, all jazz musicians. You have Raisa, a sponsor will say, you have Isyana, you have Andin. They like to give sponsor, right? Yeah. So I can understand of that. So it's difficult to get a sponsor for it. But Indonesia also good now. The Ministry of Culture, they have the funding called Dana Indonesiana. Dana Indonesiana have 7 category, and in one of them is funding for international traveling through the festival. But the reason festival have to be participating but by 5 or minimum 5 countries and international. So Indonesia have Dana Indonesiana from Ministry of Culture. That's very good. And only working online, everything, you don't have to make appointment, everything by online. I think this is one step ahead from Indonesia. And I saw my friend there, Rudy Zulkarnain, can you stand up? This is great bass player. Tepuk tangan buat Rudy. Rudy accompanied me to some country like Azerbaijan, Uzbekistan, or I don't know, Kazakhstan. And we have experience to attend the festival, and the funding came from the mixture of in between Indonesian government, the organizer, and some sponsors. Thank you.
Thank you. So please give a big round of applause for the speakers, and maybe we can continue to the question and answer session. But I would like to invite from Surabaya, maybe you have a question. Hello, Surabaya. Do you have some question for us here? Yeah, please. Please state your name and where you're from and the question.
Ya, ya selamat siang.
Ya Pak Boy, apa kabar Pak Boy?
Ya Mas Dwiki, kita jarang ketemu, jarak jauh tapi hati kita dekat. Karena Nyonya Dwiki arek Surabaya. Dan our close friend. Thank you, Mas Dwiki. Seperti yang saya pernah dengar di Jogja pada waktu Mas Dwiki memberikan presentasi bahwa salah satu musisi yang berhasil diundang ke luar negeri, kalau nggak salah waktu itu hampir 80 negara. Dan kami pantau Mas Dwiki banyak memainkan lagu etnik jazz. Nah, satu pertanyaan yang penting bagi kami, apakah di luar negeri itu kalau kita memainkan mainstream, jazz mainstream, apakah kurang laku atau bagaimana? Karena tadi Mas Dwiki sudah menjelaskan bahwa di Indonesia lebih banyak popnya. Jadi sekarang kita bicara di luar negeri karena pengalaman Mas Dwiki banyak sekali. Apakah kalau ke luar negeri harus kita membawakan etnik atau yang bagaimana? Itu aja Mas Dwiki. Thank you.
Terima kasih Pak Boy. Silakan Mas Dwiki.
Terima kasih Mas Boy. Sorry saya menghadap ke audiens di sini ya. Pak Boy itu adalah senior di Surabaya, dan istri saya dulu juga main sama Pak Boy. Ya, jawabannya Pak Boy, ya. Kalau saya main musik bebop atau mainstream di New York misalnya, di mana, kayaknya saya mainnya tidak sebagus mereka, gitu. Bagusan mereka kalau saya mau main bebop. Kecuali ini ada Ade Irawan, boleh berdiri Ade Irawan. Ini pianis jazz Indonesia yang hebat. Nah, kalau dia bebopnya hebat sekali, mainstream swingnya hebat sekali. Kalau saya tidak sebagus itu. Nah, ketika kita membawakan komposisi original dan juga mengangkat folk song atau musik daerah atau tradisional, kita aransemen dengan unik, maka mereka di sana dia sangat appreciate sekali. Jadi, tetapi bukan berarti saya kosong di jazznya, artinya kita memainkan dengan cara yang sangat jazz ya. Kekuatan di jazz itu adalah improvisasi. Improvisasinya harus bagus gitu. Dan tentunya ritmis juga penting buat saya. Makanya saya paling sering bawa pemain kendang. Ada drummernya di sana, saya kombinasikan dengan kendang yang kendang Sunda gitu ya. Saya pernah juga di Jazz Gunung, karena kolaborasi saya banyak, yang saya bawa adalah Australia Indonesian Connection ya waktu itu. Itu dengan teman-teman saya yang musisi jazz senior dan terkenal di Australia sampai saat ini. Dale Barlow, Hugh Fraser, dan beberapa lagi. Tapi tetap saya pakai kendang waktu itu. Nah jadi apa ya, ketika saya membawa keindonesiaan saya lebih pede namanya itu ya. Self confidence lah. Saya mempunyai self confidence. Self confidence itu sangat penting gitu. Ketika kita tampil di sebuah jazz festival, kelamar-kelamar terus, nggak pede nih, aduh takut gua, wah kan ini. Begitu saya udah bawa kendang, bawa lagu Paris Barantai, sudah menyiapkan aransemen lagu Janger dari Bali, pede saya tuh muncul gitu. Jadi nggak usah saya nggak usah ngedrugs gitu ya untuk pede. Jadi itu aja pedenya. Saya merendah saja, merasa tidak terlalu bagus kalau saya akan memainkan bebop atau mainstream atau swing ketika di luar negeri. Gitu kira-kira Pak Boy dan teman-teman. Terima kasih.
Terima kasih.
Terima kasih.
Masih ada waktu untuk pertanyaan, mungkin 2 lagi. Mungkin dari sini, silakan. Atau di Surabaya masih ada ya kayaknya? Sini dulu
ada
deh.
Mas Dwiki, sebentar
Ya.
ini dari Jazz Lovers ini.
Oke, sini dulu ya. Ya.
Terima kasih atas kesempatan waktunya.
Oke,
Saya
sorry.
Dani. Perkenalkan, saya Dani dari Universitas Airlangga. Kali ini saya akan bertanya kepada Pak Dwiki Dharmawan.
Boleh.
Ya, dari grup band Krakatau yang hari ini saya mau tanya, dulu ini kan di tahun 80 ini kan saya pernah dengar ada yang namanya pop kreatif. Nah, apa yang membedakan pop kreatif sama jazz pada masa itu? Terima kasih.
Keren nih pertanyaannya.
Keren pertanyaan. Tapi tadi buka rahasia, dia bilang tahun 80 kan, berarti saya udah 40 tahun di musiknya. Buka rahasia dia.
Bawanya kaset lagi Pak.
Tadi saya udah seneng karena Bagas bilang sekitar sudah 20 tahun di musik, asik saya bilang. Baru tahun 2000-an. Oke, ya zaman dulu ada istilah pop kreatif. Jadi gini, itu musik pop Indonesia yang agak jazzy-jazzy sedikit gitu. Dalam industri musik Indonesia zaman kaset disebutlah pop kreatif, saya nggak tahu dari mana adanya gitu. Jadi seperti Krakatau, Karimata, Baskara, Emerald, band-band Indonesia zaman dulu, ini pop kreatif. Padahal sebetulnya fusion mungkin ya gitu. Tapi itulah sebutan musik, ada pop cengeng waktu itu, ada pop aja, dan ada pop kreatif. Tapi ini menarik sekali, itulah yang terjadi zaman dulu. Mungkin yang dimaksud Mas, waktu itu fusion sebetulnya ya Pak Boy ya, tapi memang istilah di permusikan di Indonesia dibuat oleh label-label itu namanya pop kreatif, gitu kayaknya. Ya.
Atau mungkin jazz itu dulu pop Pak.
Oh iya, of
ya kan?
course. Ya,
karena mungkin di masa itu yang populer adalah jazz, makanya mungkin disebutnya pop kreatif. Bisa jadi.
Because in that time when it was born, jazz is popular music at that time. So we called it the creative music at that time.
Yeah.
Agree.
Oke, terima kasih atas jawabannya. Mungkin yang dari sini tadi silahkan, ada pertanyaan, ada 2 tadi yang ini dulu, silahkan.
Hi, my name is Nathaniel. I'm from President University. And thank you for the opportunity to ask a question. In regards to this event, the 4th of July band show and the following events later on jazz, beyond appreciation for the music. Oh, this is for Mr. Mahajan and Ms. Heng. Beyond appreciation of music, what specific diplomatic outcomes does the U.S. and her partners aim to achieve through these programs here in Indonesia? Thank you.
Thank you for the question. Maybe Ms. Heng first.
Thank you very much. For us, jazz is I have the answer here. Let me have a look. Well, for us, jazz is a truly global language. So as I mentioned earlier, there will be an Indonesian jazz musician who will be performing in Switzerland. And that is just one example of how cultural diplomacy can actually encourage these kind of exchanges between countries. Likewise, we do have a lot of jazz musicians from Switzerland who comes to Indonesia, and actually through the music they can introduce Switzerland that is beyond just the common chocolates and cheeses. We can introduce about our environment, we can introduce about our values through this kind of music. So I think for Switzerland, jazz is an important avenue for us to spread our true values and also our messages. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, my answer is not going to be so far off from Switzerland in the sense that for us in the U.S. it's very similar. I mean, our singular goal or one of our singular goals is really it is increasing mutual understanding through people-to-people exchanges. So that is the overarching context through which all of our arts programming, including jazz and jazz as a tool for diplomacy, really underpins. And so and similar to what my colleague has said, that for us in the U.S., through more collaborations and through the evolution of the art form, over the past 50 years, not only is that beneficial for us in terms of true cultural diplomacy, in terms of seeing the art form evolve, but it's also, I would say, it's a means for us to also inform foreign audiences about more about America as well, and similar, what goes beyond the fabric of America, right? And jazz has so much roots in diversity and civil rights movements and history out of socioeconomic movements in the United States. And so I think, a lot of that is education as well. So through more collaboration and more innovation through the arts and through jazz, it's also a means for audiences to better understand not only the history of the United States, but also what jazz represents, not only for Americans, but also the common values that we see across the world.
Thank you. Do you have time for another question? No? One more? Okay. One more? Yeah. On the back with the white shirt, yeah.
Okay, thank you. My name is Rahmat. I'm jazz listener, or can say a jazz lover. I'm going to ask one question. It's more technical, maybe to Mas Dwiki. Mas Dwiki, can we say that jazz musician can play any kind of genre, but not all musicians can play jazz? Thank you.
That's a good question.
Wow, good question. Yeah. Yes, it makes sense because in jazz music we learn rhythmic harmony and voicing, improvisation is come from your heart, and then all kind of musics. That's why most of jazz musician has ability to play any genre of music. But if you came from, for example, classical music, it's a bit difficult. A lot of classical music have a successfully career in jazz, like Chick Corea, but mostly they are difficult to play jazz because, for example, classical is really straight in tempo, tap 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 ta 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 ta. Jazz is a lot of syncope, ya ade, a lot of syncope. So the discipline of classical is difficult to go through jazz, but for me, I still have difficulty to be a good dangdut player, even I learn jazz. I'm not successfully have a success when produce. I have experience produce 3 dangdut album, but not successfully in the market. One of them is Ayang Almarhum Ayang Titik Puspa, because the dangdut touch is not. I didn't get that, you know, and but my experience, I also produce a lot of music, pop music, and a lot of hymn, march, and all of kind of music. Yeah, it's helped. I agree that jazz musicians have more open mind to play any kind of genre. Terima kasih, Mas. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. I think it's the end of our session, so I would like to have a small remark. So jazz and diplomacy work together by using music to communicate across cultures, build international relationships, and promote peace and understanding. Whether through state-sponsored programs or grassroots collaborations, jazz continues to be a universal language of diplomacy, capable of transcending borders and political divides. So once again, give a big round of applause to our speakers, Mr. Anup Mahajan, Ms. Ferani Heng, and Mr. Dwiki Dharmawan. So thank you very much and have a good day. Don't forget to be here on this afternoon as well, because we have some showcases from Ben Yapari Quartet and also MT. So yeah, and just one more thing, I think I would like to say thank you to the at America Instituto Italiano di Cultura, Instituto Francais Indonesia, Kedutaan Besar Switzerland, KLCBS, DSS, dan Sistem Suara. So terima kasih, selamat sore semuanya.
Yes, thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much to our speakers. For today, we had 2 talk show sessions with Pak Daniel, Pak Boy, Pak Shinoda, and Pak Anup, Ibu Ferani, and also Pak Dwiki. And also special thank you to our moderators, Mas Chico and also Mas Bagas, for moderating our events for today. Beri tepuk tangan sekali lagi teman-teman semua. Yes. So yes, as Mas Bagas have mentioned, don't forget to visit us tonight. We're going to have a showcase. And if you're interested, you may please come again here to Ad America. And if you're interested in attending more events here in Ad America, don't forget to follow us on our social media platforms. We are on Instagram, X, Facebook, and also YouTube at AT America. And also visit our website at www.atamerica.or.id for more event information and also updates. Once again, thank you so much everyone for joining our event today. My name is Ara and see you at the next At America event. Thank you everyone.